Hey friends, ready to think together? All right, here we go. The introduction to our mortal enemy, whether you're a believer in Jesus Christ or not. This enemy hates you. He hates the very fact that you are made in the image of God. And we're going to find out, as there's two passages, if you want to read for yourself, that you can find him. And it's in Isaiah 14. We're going to read from there in just a second. And then Ezekiel 28, and I think it's starting in verse 7 through 13, something like that. But we're going to look at there in just a second as well. But there's a few misconceptions about this enemy. He is not a big, red, ugly creature with horns hanging out and a tail and a pitchfork. He's actually very beautiful. The second misconception about our enemy is that he is in hell and he rules from hell. No, he does not. He's, as a matter of fact, has never been in hell as of yet. And when he does get cast into the lake of fire, he will be in the deepest part of that lake as a prisoner forever and ever. As he led rebellion with a third of the angels and was cast out of heaven. Why is it important to understand our enemy? We cannot see him, but it's a spiritual battle that takes place. 90+% of the battle that we face each and every day is in the mind. And our enemy uses that. Ephesians chapter 6, you want to read that as well. It speaks of the hierarchy. It speaks of the organization of our enemy. He's very ruthless. He's the father of all lies. He's the accuser of the brethren. And he seeks to overthrow God. As a matter of fact, you want to know why the physical Jewish people are hated? Because Satan seeks to exterminate them. Because if he can do that, then it will make God a liar, who said in Jeremiah 31 that the physical Jewish people will never cease to be a nation. So in the coming days, you're going to see that hatred for Christians. You're also going to see the hatred for the physical Jews. You will see the rebuilding of the third temple, and Satan will seek to exterminate the Jews, because if he can make God a liar, then who is the God of all truth, then he wins. So he thinks in his mind. But God is never going to lose. He knows the end from the beginning and the reality of things. But here, what we're going to do is we're going to read from Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 14, starting in verse 12, and we'll go to verse 17. Here we go. How you are fallen from heaven, O day star, son of the dawn. How are you cut down to the ground? You have laid the nations low. You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven above the stars of God. I will set my throne on high. I will sit in the mount of the assembly, in the far reaches of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High, but you are brought down to Sheol, to the far reaches of the pit. Those who see you will stare at you and ponder over you. Is this the man who made the earth tremble and who shook the kingdoms? Now let's go to Ezekiel 28, and we're going to start in verse 13. It says, you were in the Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was your covering: sardis, topaz, diamond, beryl, onyx, jasper, sapphire, emerald, carbuncle, and crafted in gold were your settings and in your engravings. On the day you were created, there were you prepared. There you were anointed, a guardian cherub. I placed you. You were in the holy mountain of God. In the midst of the stones of fire you walked. You were blameless in your ways from the day you were created until unrighteousness was found in you. And you go down to verse 17. Your heart was proud because of your beauty. We're just having the introduction here to who our enemy is. He is a fallen angel. He's a created being. He is not worthy to be worshipped, but yet he desires that. Did you notice in part of Isaiah 14, the eye, the 6 eyes? This also is representative of us. Who is the other enemy? Me, myself, and I. And our enemy hates you. He hates everything that God has set up, and he seeks to pervert, to twist what God had intended. And in the end, he knows what his outcome is going to be, and he wants to take as many with him as possible. See you next time, friends.